Oh, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to night number 12 of the 12 Beers of Christmas Craft Beer Experience presented by Bruvana. I'm your host, Brian, and I'm excited, so excited to be joined once again by my co-host, Julie, for this final episode of this edition of the 12 Beers of Christmas. Julie, how's it going?
It's going great, Brian. Happy to be here. Cannot believe it is the last night. It has been such a ride, and I'm super excited about the beer we have tonight too. So really, really glad to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What a great beer to close this out. I'm excited for this episode. Excited to hear from the chat. Everybody's going crazy already, checking in. Denver, Chicago, Napa, California, Norman, Oklahoma, Massachusetts, Virginia Beach, Cleveland, Bangor, PA. I didn't know there was a Bangor, PA. I knew there was a Bangor, Maine. Washington, D.C. Holy crap. Boston, Lansing,
Got a whole
Michigan.
map.
Yeah, it's great to hear everybody checking in from the country. Poughkeepsie, New York, Exton, PA, Maryland, Pittsburgh,
Another
PA.
Brian from Pittsburgh.
A Brian from Pittsburgh.
Who knew? All the best Brians are in Pittsburgh, from my experience.
Yeah. That sounds like a country song from the 70s.
All the best Brians are from Pittsburgh. I haven't even started drinking this yet, and I'm already singing. Like people are commenting on my earrings. Yes, I did my earrings. I used to have hop earrings, Victoria, and I lost one, but I have my beer rings. Lift them out.
I like the beer rings. Good touch for this final
thank you.
episode.
Thank you.
So tonight we're going to recap the 12 beers this year. We're going to talk about our favorite beers, our favorite breweries. We're also going to take a look ahead and talk about what we'd like to do next year. We also want to get your thoughts, chat. So throw those thoughts into the chat. And, as always, the housekeeping. Make sure your chat is set to everyone. If you have a specific question, and if you have a specific question, throw it in the Q&A section. We've got a great beer, so let's do that. Julie, what's up with our final beer?
Let's do that. I love it. So we have the Winterfest Strong Ale, not Stong Ale. Wait, somebody was messing with us on that one. Calling us out. So Winterfest Strong Ale by Sockeye Brewing out of Boise, Idaho. Sockeye is one of our partners from BLT. So those who were with Brews Less Traveled at one point, I know we have seen them there as well. So this one is, a little bit stronger, of course, 7.25 ABV, 85 IBU. So I like that those are kind of similar numbers. It means it's going to be pretty balanced, even though it is stronger. I'm going to have, like very strong bitter flavor, but it's going to feel more balanced as well. So I'm excited about that. And there's so much going on in this beer too. A huge malt bill. There's like Idaho Pale Malt, Victory, Crystal, Flaked Barley, Chocolate Malts, and then also 3 different kinds of hops. So there's a lot going on here, and I'm really excited to just open it up and dive in and enjoy this last beer of the 12 beers of Christmas.
Yes, as Karen in the chat is saying, my Aunt Karen. We'll throw that out there. Really? Thanks for the hat. We got a great Brews Less Traveled hat in the box. Where did mine go?
Brian, I was gonna wear mine tonight. Yeah, and then it disappeared into the green screen. I wouldn't have a top of my head. So. But yes, I love it too.
Oh no, look, mine.
This is good.
No,
there it goes.
There it goes. Yeah. Should I wear it? Let's see what happens. We'll take off the Christmas hat and
it's kind of there.
Just the Brews Less Traveled logo. Oh, look, it's standing strong there. Yes, great Brews Less Traveled hat. I love that.
Yeah, it's a good hat.
And we'll talk about more why I love that in a minute here. But this beer.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. What a great style to round this off. All those big boisterous malty notes.
Ooh, nice and like coffee too. Good bitterness, especially at the end.
Yeah, some classic hops like Centennial, Columbus, and Magnum really play well with the the multitude of multi flavors that's going on in this beer.
Yeah, it's like
Mm.
on one hand, I'm like, oh wow, it's so hoppy. Then I'm like, oh, but there's like a lot of malt in this too. It's like also very sweet. So yeah, really good. It has like a strong profile, but also well-rounded. Really good and malty, but also really hoppy. Loving it. I can't drink it too fast because then who knows what I'll be saying by the end of this thing. But
Oh boy, yeah.
I'll be singing more
Oh,
country songs.
yeah, it is so delicious. It is hard not to drink fast. Yeah, shout out to my mom in the chat who's saying it reminds her of Old Man Winter from Southern Tier. Yeah, very, very similar to that beer. That's an old ale, which is really similar to a strong ale. And these are kind of like the forgotten styles of the winter seasonals. You got your heavily spiced Christmas ales, you got your wonderful like Christmas IPAs, and then we kind of get into this no man's, no woman's land out here in January and February. And it's like, well, what does everybody drink this time? Well, let's make some strong beers, and
Yep.
the strong ale is just perfect for the coldest months of the year.
Yeah, good winter warmer style beer for sure. This or like a really heavy Belgian beer. Oh, I love that. Love that time of year for drinking. There's not a
So
wrong
chat,
time. But.
no, certainly not. But
Hi,
so
Brian's
chat,
dad. Sorry.
dad. Oh yeah, dad here. Hi, dad. Dad probably took over the iPad. So we got some questions here. Julie and I are going to go back and forth, but of course, as always, we want to hear your opinions as well. How did the box go this year? We have what do you want to see next year? We have some questions here. Julie and I are going to go back and forth, but of course, we want to hear your comments in the chat. So, Julie, you were here hosting many of the episodes. You've been here co-hosting with me these last few. What were your favorite box or favorite beers from the box this year?
Thank you so much for asking. I didn't prepare this at all. I did prepare it. I really liked the Crank and Foamers lager that we had a few nights ago. Just like super classic, super solid, really tasty. That one was from Fair State and Modern Times. I really liked the Uinta Christmas Cheer. It was like the one that was the Munich style with juniper. I enjoyed that one a lot. I had that one while we were doing our Christmas decorating at one point, so that was really fun. And I like the Christmas IPA. It was a good. I'm like very strongly a West Coast is best coast IPA girl. You know this. And that one was like it was more like in the middle. I was almost expecting it to taste more like a hazy or New England IPA, but it actually kind of bridged the gap between both. It felt like a middle IPA. I don't know if there's like a word for that, but I really liked that. It had really good flavor. So those were my favorite beers. And the breweries that we had too were great. I really liked Good Life. I liked speaking with our friend from Good Life a couple nights ago. That was really fun. And I really like Resident Culture. I said that yesterday. They're just a cool brewery. They have such a cool vibe, and I love everything they make. And I'm lucky to live in North Carolina, where I can just get Resident Culture beer at the grocery store. So I was really psyched that we had them on and could kind of share some of their beer with people around the country. How about you? What'd you like?
Yeah, people are loving the City Barrel Christmas IPA, throwing that in the chat. I would agree. That was one of my favorites. The Christmas IPA from City Barrel was just, yeah, that perfect blend of what makes us love West Coast IPAs and what makes us love like New England style or East Coast IPAs. And ooh, I would say second behind that is probably that coffee lager that hit the spot from Modest. The First Call coffee lager hit the spot so well on New Year's Day. To the chat, Steve said, I like that you had more IPAs this year that were not cliche IPAs. Yeah, we tried to throw a nice variety in there for people. Nathaniel says favorite was the Passed Out or the Brothers Cup. Brothers Cup was great too. That was our Grand Cru that we had on night 2. People showing lots of love for the coffee lager. People like the Wavelength from Equilibrium. And yeah, we had so many great breweries feature this year. I think my favorite brewery, I think I probably have to go with Modest too. John, I I love my friend John. He does such a good job and has such a fun time and brings such a great energy when he comes onto the show. And the beer was great, and it's always fun talking about Modest and the Minneapolis beer scene. I was happy that we could feature two of my favorite breweries from the Minneapolis beer scene in this year's box, both with Fair State and Modest. And it was really cool to get Drownlands in there too. That's such an interesting brewery, and that Vienna lager was so great. I feel like that's the beer that every like industry person that I've sent the box to that's like come on the show, or that we sent the box to just as like a thank you. They're all like, man, that Vienna lager is something.
Yeah, that one was really good. And I keep seeing the coffee lager coming up in the chat. That's actually one of my favorite styles of beer, and I haven't had that one yet. It's still in my fridge. So maybe after this, I'll go out there and finish it up with an evening cup of coffee. We'll see how that goes. But I'm excited to try that one too.
So lots of stuff that we loved. I also have to shout out the lightning drops from Resident Culture. What a cool can art, tying it in with the black can. That was a fun one, and what a fun episode last night. But Julie, biggest surprise of the box. You and I work on this box, through a lot of the year, and we develop relationships with Brews Less Traveled, and that definitely feeds into what becomes the 12 beers of Christmas. But for you, what was the biggest surprise this year?
That's a great question. A couple of them. I think one of the biggest surprises was kind of the kick in the Chamoy Cowboy. I was not expecting that. Laura and I both took our first sip and we're like, "Ooh, that was really spicy." I liked it, but it was very surprising. And then I think just how, I don't know, just how fun the conversations have been. Like speaking with Em last night, I messaged you afterward. I was like, I want to be her best friend. Like she was great. Just the conversations we've had with all the guests have been great and sometimes surprising and just really, really exciting. And I also just loved all the swag, like all the stickers, so many brewery stickers, so many more magnets I have to make. So I think those are my biggest surprises for sure. How about you?
Yeah, it was so great. All the breweries that sent stickers this year, and of course the swag. I think the biggest surprise for me, my favorite thing, um, it was the can art. I loved that we sent out it was a make your own can art night on night 8. I love that we sent out that little label and crayons to everybody, and it was just such a fun addition to this year's box that really changed things up. I saw some people posting theirs on Instagram, and I think that was just a nice addition to the box that gave something on top of beer and stickers and these cool conversations that we had. We gave people the opportunity to make something that was their own, whether it was serious or just for fun. I like that we gave people the opportunity to create something out of this experience.
A lot of people really appreciated the chat, coming back here just for the chat, just for the community of, getting to see the same people every night and talk with them about the beer and what's going on. So that's always great to see. We love that.
Yeah, most definitely. That I would not say that is a surprise to us though. Every year the crew in the chat really gets their own community going. We have some people in there that are asking great questions, that are answering questions, providing that knowledge, and really just making it this own little community within the people that are watching the show as well. That's awesome.
For sure.
I think biggest other surprise was getting Equilibrium on. That is a brewery that I have traveled to twice personally. Once when I was on a family vacation, I was like, hey, we got to drive 2 hours out of our way to go to this brewery in New York. And then one other time when I drove from Pittsburgh to Burlington, I took a stop off in their new location in Middletown. And it's just a brewery that I have a lot of respect for and that we really haven't worked with in the past. And to hear that, hey, we're going to get Equilibrium beers for both the Hoppy Hanukkah and 12 Beers of Christmas this year was like, that was awesome. And of course, the Wavelength was a standout in this year's 12 Beers of Christmas box.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this year has been great. We had a lot of breweries that we're super proud of. We had great guests on here, but What about next year? What breweries should we work with next year? Why should we work with them? Throw it in the chat. But Julie, I'm interested to see if you have a little list of breweries you'd like to see us work with for the 12 beers next year.
Yeah, I mean, there are just so many. The first thing that I think of is we have, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, we have an awesome lineup of cities for the next year of BLT. So I feel like there are going to be a lot of really good, strong contenders there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many breweries in different cities that I don't think we featured in these boxes yet. Like I'm thinking of like Tampa Bay breweries. There are some down there that are awesome. I always like more North Carolina breweries, but I'm biased. Oh my gosh, I can't think like it's so hard to choose because there are just so many good ones. And I'm really excited to see who we partner with next year. And some of the partners that we had this year too from BLT. I feel like there are a lot of other people that we worked with that were just amazing and that made some great beer. So I want to hear from you. Which ones are you excited about? Because I feel like you have some favorites that you would be just like with Equilibrium, like ones that you would be like, oh man, I can't believe we got them.
Yeah, so I'm very jealous of the Hoppy Hanukkah box because they had Allagash in
Yeah.
there. So I would definitely want to see Allagash. Someone in the chat says any Vermont brewery. Vermont is such a great beer scene. We've talked about them on the show already with them last night. But Vermont is just so wonderful. I think of course the juggernauts like Farmstead and the Alchemist, but there's so many good producers out there, good smaller producers that would be great to feature, like Zero Gravity.
Mhm.
I would, much like you, I'd like to show off the South a little bit more. I think North Carolina has an unbelievable beer scene. I think of course, the Asheville area with places like Burial and um, Bamari.
Mhm.
Bamari, I can never say the
Ramari,
name.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some really cool beers there, and yeah, like you've already alluded to, Brews Less Traveled is going to 12 different cities, 12 new cities this year, and we'll pick up some relationships and meet some new friends along the way. And I'm sure we'll have some great breweries to participate in next year, either from 12 Brews Less Traveled or, like this year with Drown Lands and Equilibrium and a couple other of our breweries. We may just reach out and make
Mhm.
contact with people that we've never worked with before and get them to pitch in for this box and get a really killer lineup again next year. But let's see, chat. Chat is going nuts.
I
Holy crap.
know. Oh my gosh.
50 messages since I stopped it. Three Floyds. Steve says Hitchhiker. Shout out to Pittsburgh. Dragon Mead Brewery in Warren. Alchemy. Mad Tree in Cincinnati. Should have bought the box
Yeah,
last year.
Mad Tree. That was our first BLT city was Cincinnati.
Should have bought the box last year. Mad Tree was featured. Redemption Rock in Worcester, Massachusetts. They're also a B corporation. Carbacher St. Arnold in Houston.
Loving it.
Voodoo or Harpoon, Dancing Gnome. We had our friend Mikey from Dancing Gnome on this year. Maybe we could get some Dancing Gnome into the
Yeah.
box next year. Noble Creature from Youngstown. That's another excellent brewery. Arboretum Trail from Pittsburgh. Black Rocks Brewery. Our Droid Theory, another great brewery that I've heard a lot of good things about. Cruz Blanca, Cigar City. Joey says Bierstadt possibly.
I love Bierstadt. A couple of Trogs, couple of other half coming up a few times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
really great suggestions. Super excited to see what the next holiday season brings for sure.
Really good suggestions. Funny enough, all these Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh connections, we didn't have any Pennsylvania beers in the box this year. I think we'll hopefully make that a difference next year. It's not like it's just my home state. It's also the state with the second most breweries out of any state in the country. There's over 500 breweries in this state, so we should find a way to include one of those next year. As nobody's Care says, yes, we do need PA beers. And my Aunt Karen says, Old Thunder, phenomenal brewery here in Pittsburgh. That would be wonderful to feature next year. Boy, these headphones really keep jumping out of my ears. As Julie has mentioned, we should give a plug for Brews Less Traveled here. If you like what we're doing on this stream, you should definitely consider joining the Brews Less Traveled Beer Club. We meet every week to talk about our new featured city. If you sign up for the beer club, you'll get a box of beer from our featured city shipped directly to you. You could jump on a stream every week where we have very brewery focused guests on there talking about the beers that we're featuring in the box. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because you can't get the box at this point, but January, we are going to be featuring the wonderful city of Fort Collins, Colorado. We have some really awesome breweries to feature that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about definitely a beer scene that has inspired a lot of craft beer and the movements that have happened around craft beer and kind of the trends with styles. And we're going to continue that as we make our way to some other cities, such as and the wonderful city of. If you want to see Bruiseless Travel go to a particular city and feature them in 2023, please throw that in the chat too. We may already have your city selected, but Julie, what are you excited about for 2023 in terms of beer exploration?
Yeah, I'm so excited for BLT next year. So we already have every city kind of chosen, our roadmap kind of trip chosen for 2023. And it starts in Fort Collins, and then we end up in cities that are north, south, east. Like, we're kind of going all over, and I'm really excited with some of these big cities that we're going to. Some of them are like kind of larger craft beer cities, and a lot of them are those undiscovered beer meccas that you're like, oh, I didn't know this place had a beer scene. And we're like, oh yeah, they do, because it's really cool. So I'm really excited to introduce people to those cities specifically and kind of take them all over the country again. Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun ride.
Yeah, most certainly. And as somebody has already said, Fort Collins has some great beers. And Joey said, hell yeah, Crooked Stave. We'll be featuring Crooked Stave and talking to a guest from that wonderful brewery in just a few short days.
We went there together, Brian, didn't we?
We did when we were at CBC.
It was a great place. We went to the Denver location.
Yeah, the forgotten CBC, where only like half of the industry showed up because we were still in COVID. And no, we went to CBC. We went to Crooked Stave, drank some excellent beers there. And my daughter has a onesie from there. Because I will buy a onesie. I will buy a onesie from any brewery that makes a onesie.
Like baby merch and dog merch. They know their audience at this point. Everybody who goes in the craft brewery has kids and dogs now. So just live it up, lean into it.
Yeah. So my next question was going to be, how can we make next year of 12 Beers of Christmas better? And I think we already know. Let's just throw some dog merch in there. We'll get that sweet can that Chris was talking about the other night for dogs.
If you don't have a dog, in there. Get a dog for Christmas. Be good. A dog beer. Love it.
Yeah, we'll outfit your dog with an entire lineup of brewery merchandise next year. So get your significant other a dog, and then we'll follow that up with a bunch of brewery merchandise.
If you buy the box, you get a dog free.
Oh boy. So how can we make the next year of the 12 Beers of Christmas better? Throw it in the chat. If you are a subscriber, if you did purchase the 12 Beers of Christmas this year, you will get an email coming up that has a full survey in it that you could offer your feedback, but throw it in the chat there. A little more flavor to the crayons, says Haywood. Don't eat the crayons, man.
What are you eating crayons for?
We gave the charcoal 1 year. That didn't work out, because unless you're trying to be poisoned like Gus in Breaking Bad, you don't really need to eat charcoal. So we went with the charcoal marshmallow this year, and we substituted that. Maybe next year we need to get the gummy crayons so that Haywood could eat them.
I don't think those exist. Talking about guest ideas, getting more of those brewmasters. Always great to have people from the brewery for sure. Oh yeah, smoky beer. You know me, I'd be so excited.
Yep. Would love to see more interactive evenings. Yes, we need to get chat involved more next year. Somebody said, how about adding the THC beer from Modest? That sounds like a shipping nightmare. As much as I think it would be nice.
May not be exactly legal. I mean, we could look into it. There are no wrong answers. only ones that we probably won't take.
Yeah, yeah. No wrong answers, but maybe some
This guy-
logistical and legally gray.
I like Joel,
Answers.
our friend Joel there saying maybe some recipes to go along with the beer. That's fun. I like that.
Oh,
That could be
that's
cool.
great idea. Pairings for
More food
lobster, some sort
pairings,
of
yeah.
cheese.
You
These
heard
are,
cheese pairings. We know all about that.
yeah,
Can
well,
hook
yeah,
you
well,
up.
oh boy. Yeah, lots of great feedback about the guests and brewers. Definitely want to get always want to get more brewers onto the show, but we like to mix up the guests and have different options out there and different topics. And also, brewers work really, really hard towards the end of the year, pushing to get all the tanks filled before the end of the year so that they can take time off to be with their families. So a lot of times it can be difficult to get the brewers on the show, but we try to get a nice mix for everybody, and we hope that this year's guest lineup was representative of the industry at large, as well as the breweries that were represented in the box.
I like some people are mentioning
Speaker.
some things around like having ideal serving temperature or glass, like glass type, putting that on the card or something like that. That could be cool. So people know coming into it how to be more prepared for each night. I think that could be neat.
Yeah. And ANN still says, I still like the nights when you guys have the freestyle, and I love the trivia night too. I think
everyone loves the trivia night. That
I
can't go anywhere.
Trivia night can't go anywhere. I think I could confidently say now that next year, come New Year's Eve 2023, we will be hosting another game show, official Brewvana game show. Yeah. Ooh, lots of great suggestions in
Love
the
it.
chat. And remember, like, we're going to send you a survey, put your feedback in there. That will definitely help us shape the next year of this. But yeah, if you'd like to pre-order next year's box at a special discounted rate of what is that rate again, Franny? Let me look. Franny says it's 15% off. We do have that discount. Oh, and I just put it into the script instead of putting it into the chat. There it is. We're going to spam that in the chat there. If you want to pre-order your box for next year at a 15% discount, we got you covered. But let's say thanks to all of our featured breweries for participating this year. Shout out to Drownlands out of New York, Thunderhead out of Nebraska, City Barrel out of Missouri, Good Life from Oregon, Uinta from Utah, Alamo from Texas, Equilibrium from New York, Modest from Minnesota, Parish from Louisiana, Fair State from Minnesota, President Culture from North Carolina, and tonight's featured brewery, Sockeye from the beautiful state of Idaho.
Yeah, thanks to all of them. Really great to have all those awesome partner breweries. And then also thanks to all of the awesome guests for sure. So we had Joe and Grant from City Barrel, Roger from Ironheart, Mikey from Dancing Gnome, MC who came on. We had Doug from Revolution, Jen Blair, Glenn and Mike from the Beer Vengers. Always love to see them. I think Glenn might be in the chat right now. John from Modest, Ryan from Parish, Mason from Good Life, Chris from Pure Project, and M. Sauter from Last Night. It was so great to have all of those guests on and get to share a beer with all of them this year.
Yes, great guests. So awesome to talk to all of them. And thanks to our amazing stream viewers for living up discussion every night with your excellent questions and awesome comments. And of course, thanks to all my co-hosts, Ben, Laura, Julie, MC, Isaac. Somebody threw a really awesome suggestion into the chat and said a virtual beer tour next year. If you're interested in brewery tours, if you like going on this type of thing, you should check out our sister company too, City Brew Tours. Check us out at citybrewtours.com. We do all inclusive educational craft beer experiences in 18, currently 17 different cities across North America, but it will be 18 once our newest city, Austin, Texas, launches next month.
Couple of weeks. Nope, just a couple of weeks away.
couple of weeks. Yeah, we're all across the East Coast, all across America, with locations in places like Des Moines, Iowa, the soon to be coming Austin, Texas. We have a location up in Portland, Oregon, Salt Lake City, and then of course our beloved East Coast locations like Pittsburgh, Philly, Boston, DC, Baltimore, and the original location, Burlington. And we even have a bilingual location up in Montreal, Quebec. So check us out, citybrewtours.com. Why did I say that so weird? City brewtours.com. Check them at if you're looking for an in-person version of what we're doing here. And I do want to say a special thanks to the folks behind the scenes that make this all happen, especially our friend Laura, Matt, Franny, Chad, Pete, and Tom. You all make this happen in some way, shape, or form. So thanks to all of you. You can catch me every week on Brews Less Traveled. And you can also come and visit me in person here in Pittsburgh at Low Lev Beer, 5247 Butler Street in Pittsburgh's 10th Ward. Julie, plugs, final thoughts.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, definitely go visit Brian. Go bother him at work. I love it. And then I was going to mention City Brew Tours. We did that, but we also didn't really speak about our other sister company, Unbox Experiences. We mentioned beer and cheese pairings, and how that's something that we know a lot about. We do have another company, Unbox Experiences. We do private corporate events with them. So if you're looking for some kind of virtual team building, client appreciation, go ahead and check Unbox Experiences out. We do beer and cheese pairings. We do a tea and mindfulness experience. We have new charcuterie events. So lots of fun things to do there. Ice cream float making in the summer. So if you're looking for something to do with your teams, definitely check out Unbox Experiences as well.
Yes, that charcuterie experience is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Make some salami origami. Yeah, and once again, we're going to be doing this next year for the 2023. So you have a week to pre-order at the discounted 15% rate, spamming that link in the chat there. So take advantage of that if you want to join us again next year. But that's going to do it for us this year. Let's hold on here. Actually, let me play us out. Let's get some really nice. We'll get some really nice music to play us out with here, because it's special. It's the final night. I'm sentimental and also still struggling to figure out how to do this stuff properly with computer audio and all that. I am 35, but I'm an old man at heart. There we go.
Raise a glass to the third
bring
annual.
back the music. Yes.
12 Beers of Christmas.
Yeah, we'll be
love
back next year. We'll be back next year with another installment of the 12 Beers of Christmas. Again, pre-orders are live, and we're going to throw that link up in the chat. Spam it there. And like we said, keep an eye on your emails. We'll be sending out a survey in the next week. Customer feedback has helped shape this experience and all Proof on it, City Brew Tours and Unbox Experiences from the beginning, from day one. So your opinions are greatly appreciated. But for one last time, cheers, everybody. Go out and find something to do with your evenings now. Stay safe, be kind, and support local breweries. Cheers, everyone.